Our firm prides itself on being a litigation firm, so at every feasible opportunity we go to trial.
So we have a lot of flexibility that allows us to serve our clientele with the utmost capability.
It's not about making a dollar for the firm or for ourselves. It's actually about helping people, and that's our main concern, and that's what drives us.
We are interested in handling all claims that should go to court, that have a good meritorious cause, even if it's not a high-end case, if we can handle it in a manner that's efficient.
In less than 6 years, Brent Coon and Associates has gone from 1 to over 70 attorneys, creating one of the most powerful firms in the United States. At a time when the big, stodgy firms are downsizing, Brent Coon and Associates is bucking the trend, reinvesting its substantial resources and establishing a 21st century template for success. A firm that can stand up for its clients. A firm that's not afraid to tangle with the biggest of corporations. A force to be reckoned with. But how does this happen? And what are the advantages that BCA can offer you?
We also have offices all over the country. And in this day and age, 21st century litigation, it's extremely important to have the flexibility and the versatility of filing cases that are of the mass tort nature in multiple different jurisdictions. We have put offices in a number of areas that are our hub offices, and within those hubs in major metropolitan areas, we work with other lawyers, including lawyers in adjacent states, so that we create a system where each of the cases get where they need to go, and they're still handled in an infrastructure where they're all under one umbrella.
The advantages to this strategy are many. Multiple offices means the ability to file cases with a multi-jurisdictional approach. This means your case will be filed in the place that is most conducive to your claim. This geographical advantage also means that BCA is able to assemble multiple trial teams, working together, sharing knowledge and insight about the other side. Having multiple trial teams means being able to spread the defense out to weaken their corporate legal machine, depleting their resources, thereby leveraging a just and fair resolution.
Strategically, if we're involved in multiple trials, or the potential for multiple trials in multiple different jurisdictions, we can put more pressure on a defendant to settle.
This is one of the replicable advantages of Brent Coon and Associates. Among other things, it means being able to avoid jurisdictional backlogs. As companies often try to wait you out, BCA is able to bring your case to resolution in the swiftest manner possible. If your case is part of a class action or mass tort, you are subject to judicial consolidation, where cases are tried in groups and often move to federal courts in major cities. BCA is much more likely to have a local office, to know the system there, and have key relationships in place. In addition to the synergies of a solid infrastructure, BCA has the skill, reputation, and resources to invest in every case it takes. Accepting your case means making a commitment to invest the resources, time, and energy to work up your case for presentation.
There truly are a number of good lawyers in our business that handle a lot of the types of cases that we do, but we have a number of things that most of them do not. Cases of this nature are very expensive to prosecute, and the defendants evaluate that. When you file a case, one of the first things they do is say, who are these guys? Do we know them? Are they players? Are they the people that can work a case up, get it to trial, do a good job, retain the proper experts, and have the capital, that is the financing, to be able to work those cases up and to hold off until you get to trial? We have the experts that we need to have, and they're the best of the best. And again, that's another advantage of being a big firm that does this all over the country. You get the best of the best. They trust you, they know that you're going to do a good job, and they will make themselves available for you, many times to the exclusion of most, if not all, of the law firms.
Finally, in the event that the other side does not make an acceptable offer, Brent Coon and Associates not only can and will go to trial, but it is here in the courtroom where they will shine, and defenses know it. In 2006, BCA took on corporate behemoth British Petroleum on behalf of a young girl from Louisiana. It quickly became news around the world and arguably the most talked about case of the year. And the settlement became world news as well.
It was the worst industrial accident in the U.S. in 15 years. 15 people dead, another 170 injured in an explosion and fire last year at the British Petroleum Refinery in Texas City, Texas.
They knew that if they didn't fix these things, they were increasing the risk, unnecessarily increasing the risk of something major happening.
So why were they still using them at Texas City?
Because it cost several $1 million to get rid of them.
But I mean, this was a plant that made how much in profit?
They made about $1 billion a year at that one plant.
So there's money there to replace them.
Sure. Well, the deal's, you want to make $1 billion or you want to make $998 million? They chose to make $1 billion.
If every plaintiff settles and the case never goes to trial, many of those damaging internal BP documents will remain under court seal.
BP has agreed to work with us in an ongoing manner to continue to review all the documents in this case, and for those that we believe are relevant and germane to the general public and safety, to continue to allow those to be released into the public domain so that other industries and other petrochemical plants can learn from the mistakes that BP made and thus reduce the likelihood of similar occurrences at other facilities. This is very important in the petrochemical industry. It's called lessons learned. If you do not share that information, if you do not share those lessons, no one learns. In terms of the settlement, this was an extraordinary settlement, and it was one that is probably a first impression in a number of different respects. The documents that we had obtained in this case would be released to the public. There was no going to be, we're settling and we want all our documents back, case closed, nobody gets to find out what you as the plaintiffs found out in this case. The second thing that was a very important and different component of this settlement is they met our other demands, which is that not only is there going to be a financial settlement, not only is there going to be a disclosure of the documents we've obtained in this case, but there's going to be a third part, and that is the part that is an everlasting trust that goes to a greater good. And in this case, that greater good was the foundations. We have an enormous amount of money, over $30 million guaranteed, another $6 million in matching funds pledged to major institutions. So next spring, Eva and I are going to Austin with the EVA bill that promotes and mandates mandatory changes in the industry. And we need not forget the lessons that were learnable then, have been learned since, and to make sure that the industry knows about it and responds to it. And if we need legislation to make them do that, that's what we're here for. So you'll see Eva and I in Austin next spring. You'll see us in Washington next spring. And we hope to be very effective in mandating some of these changes so that something like this doesn't happen again. We do not want to have more fatalities like this in the future, and we do not have to have fatalities and injuries like this in the future if our legislature will act. They're in session for another month and a half right behind us. If they pass this bill in the House and Senate, many lives will be saved.
You can't put a price on your mother and father's life. I want other families to be safe and laws to change so that companies have to make sure that they are.
And with all the acclaim came a responsibility. A responsibility and a duty to ensure justice for all people that are not able to defend themselves. That's the BCA advantage.
We understand as a customer, when you come in, whether you're the referral lawyer or the client, you can go somewhere else. And we appreciate that business. I personally appreciate every person that calls us, whether it's an individual client, whether it's a referral firm. I personally appreciate the fact they've chosen us, for whatever reasons, to come to us for the representation. And we understand the benefits of being a good service provider, for repeat business, and for just doing a good job.